Is this the end of the line for Camron and Chrissy Lampkin? What were they hiding that might pull everything apart? Believed we knew about them. And more crucially, what happens when Jim Jones, the master of keeping it real, finds out about their secret night out? You won't believe what happened behind closed doors, but trust me, the reality is way juicier than we could have imagined Camron and Chrissy Lampkin together on a covert trip, while Jim Jones had no idea that it wasn't just a night out, but an expose of a controversy so hot that even the paparazzi couldn't reach close enough to catch it. And who tipped up the public about the source so close to the situation that hotter than their secrets is the fallout that's about to follow. This isn't just a date night. This is the buckle up because things are about to get very dirty. Stick with us as we dive deep into the scandal no one expected coming. Camron and Chrissy Lampkin's secret night out revealed. And Jim Jones, yeah, he's upset, and that's only the beginning. Don't go anywhere. This journey is just getting started. It's a storyline no one saw coming, but one that has been bubbling beneath the surface for quite some time. Camron and Chrissy Lampkin, two personalities who have frequently been at the center of attention in the hip-hop scene, have managed to maintain something quite vital under wraps, but all secrets eventually come to light. When those secrets come out, they tend to cause, oh well, guess what? The storm has arrived. We all know Camron is the Harlem rapper who has been making waves in the industry for years. With his caustic wit, provocative persona, and unforgettable Cam character, he's not one to avoid a controversy. And if anyone can stay ahead of the drama, it's him. But this time, he wasn't ready for what was Chrissy Lampkin. The unabashed and strong reality TV actress most known for her role is set to take center stage. On Love and Hip Hop, you'd think after all her public drama with Jim Jones, she learned a thing or two about staying out of the headlines. But no. Here, we are a night out, just the two of them, entirely off the radar. One expected and a night that would soon come to haunt them both. So how did it all start? Rumors have been flying. For weeks, whispers in the shadows of the hip-hop community suggested that something was up between Camron and Chrissy Lampkin. Has been acting. Different individuals who know them say they've been spending more time together and not in the pleasant, we're merely old friends method of presenting. No, this was different. This was hidden, and when two high-profile stars like Camron and Chrissy Lampkin start to fall under the radar, you know danger is building. Now, if we take a step back and think about it, Jim Jones's reaction was completely predicted. The minute discovered that Camron and Chrissy were spending time together without him. You could practically hear the fire in his voice. But Jim has always been a touch territorial with these guys, and if you don't think he's been studying the moods of both Chrissy and Camron, well, you're living under a rock. Camron and Chrissy Lampkin's relationship has been problematic from the start. Both have been through the ringer with Jim Jones' love, hip-hop stardom, and the never-ending media circus. But for them to be part in something so secretive is where things begin to become very fascinating. What could they possibly be doing behind closed doors that they couldn't share with the public? And more crucially, why was Jim the last to find out, to grasp given the magnitude of the problem? We must delve into history. Camron and Jim Jones were once among SD's best friends, business partners, and co-founders of the famed D-Pet Group. They ruled the hip-hop industry together, moving like a well-oiled machine. But as time went on, the cracks started to emerge. Old friendship soured, and allegiance was the covert rendezvous between Camron and Chrissy part of a wider, more intimate betrayal? The issue is hazy, but the whispers are loud. The Harlem connection has always been close-knit, almost familiar. But when you bring Chrissy Lampkin into the mix, someone with her own convoluted history with Jim Jones, you have a recipe for catastrophe. And when Jim finds out, well, let's just say it won't be nice, but don't just take our word for it. Sources close to the matter have already begun leaking exclusive details. Several of these sources alleged Chrissy and Camron had been meeting up for weeks, and whenever Jim thought she was with him, she was. Chrissy and Camron were actually living another life, and it wasn't just dinner dates, according to sources, seen in several pretty elite venues across the city, sliding into secret entrances and departing by back doors. To avoid being recorded by cameras sounds fairly sketchy, right? But that's not even the juiciest part. Rumor has it that things became hot and heavy on one of those covert nights out. Oh, Chrissy and Camron weren't simply hanging around. We were living it up like two single people entirely unaccountable to Jim, according to one source. Chrissy felt no one was watching. She was becoming far too intimate with Camron for comfort, and it wasn't just about reminiscing about old times. No, it was about something deeper. At first, Jim Jones was in denial. Jim never thought Chrissy would betray him like that, especially with Camron. But as the evidence piled up, it grew more difficult to ignore. And when the stories eventually reached Jim's ears, it was only a matter of time before the entire world knew. What Jim didn't realize was how far things had gotten. As we go deeper into this twisted issue, it becomes evident that there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than anyone thought. The image being painted isn't just one of a deceptive Camron and Chrissy Lampkin have a rendezvous, but it's much more intricate than that. If we peel back the layers in this scandal, we discover something even more dangerous. It appears that the truth isn't just about a hidden night out, but also about betrayal, deception, and a relationship tearing apart at the seams. Now let's look at the interactions between Camron Chrissy and Jim Jones. It is no secret that Jim and Camron had a tumultuous relationship for years. They went from greatest friends, collaborators, and partners in crime to distant strangers, everyone carving out their own separate routes in the music industry. But despite the conflict, Jim and Camron have always had a weird affinity and history, something neither one could completely shake off, and now that Christy is involved, things are likely to take a turn for the worst. What transpired between Christy and Camron that led to these covert meetings? According to various sources, it wasn't just casual hanging out or innocent catching up. These were purposeful and covered gatherings, took place in some of the most elite spots in the city where no one would recognize them. And it wasn't only regarding them reminiscing about the good old days in the Dipet era. These weren't simply innocent gatherings, but sources alleged that Chrissy and Camron's interactions were far more intimate than anyone could have imagined. And there are rumors that Camron and Chrissy met at a private villa they were apparently seen in the Hamptons enjoying each other's company, a little too much for comfort, according to murmurs. Getting louder and more specific, the issue on everyone's mind now is what's actually going on between our Chrissy and Camron, rekindling something from the past? Or is it all a simple misunderstanding? According to several accounts, Chrissy was seen acting far too comfortable with Camron, and even cuddly at times. I don't understand why I was caught laughing, joking, and holding hands with him in ways that were far more than friendly. Twisted Christy isn't new to this kind of public drama. After all, she's the same lady who memorably knocked Camila on Love and Hip-Hop after years of pent-up rage. Chrissy has a history of putting her emotions on full exhibition, but this was something altogether different. If what's being alleged is true, Chrissy and Camron might be crossing some significant lines, and let's not forget about the elephant in the room, Jim Jones. How did he react was he truly as blindsided as everyone is making it out to be? Or did he know something was up all along? But according to our inside sources, Jim was not as stupid as he appeared, and some even claim he had a Chrissy and Camron's tension had been obvious in recent months, indicating that something wasn't quite right. Leading up to the covert night out, the problem was that he never expected it to go to this level. Jim may have turned a blind eye to the situation, but after he found out the reality, it hit him like a ton of bricks. There was speculation that Jim had been told about Chrissy and Camron's increasing closeness months ago. It has been confirmed that an anonymous tip was received by someone, possibly from the Dipset circle. Passed the information to Jim, saying that Camron and Chrissy were not only hanging together but also getting far. According to individuals close to Jim and Chrissy, once the truth was revealed, everything went downhill. Confronted her instantly. The confrontation was intense, to say the least. Jim allegedly confronted Chrissy. With all the data he knew regarding the secret meetings and what transpired afterward, the arguments began yelling. Jim was upset, and Chrissy appeared to lose her cool for the first time in their long relationship. She was caught off surprise, defensive, and attempting to downplay everything that had occurred. But here's according to insiders. Chrissy denied any romantic involvement with Camron and claimed it was all just innocent catching up. But everyone around her, especially Jim, didn't buy it. had been sneaking around and disguising these meetings for so long just added fuel to the Camron is reported to have. He was initially unconcerned with the situation, but when the public response grew and people criticized his conduct, he was forced to have a reaction. The question is, will he come clean and admit to anything more than merely innocent contacts with Chrissy? Or will he continue to deny any guilt, and will he ever make amends with Jim? If there's one thing the Dipset brand is predicated on loyalty, and at this moment loyalty is a big question mark as more and more details surface. One thing is certain, this scandal is far from done. In the following section, we'll break down the aftermath of this startling disclosure, including potential legal repercussions, public reaction, and what this could imply for Cam'ron, Chrissy, and Jim Jones moving forward. Stay tuned, because this tale is just getting started. The tempest continues to rage in the wake of the horrific revelations regarding Cam'ron, Chrissy Lampkin, and Jim Jones is beginning to unfold in ways that no one could have imagined the impact from this controversy. Far-reaching ramifications not only for those involved, but for the entire culture around the Dipset crew. The love and hip-hop franchise, as well as the music industry as a whole, are like watching a slow-motion train catastrophe. Hasn't even reached its final destination yet. First, let's talk about Jim Jones, who was arrested in AOA. According to those close to him, the discovery regarding Chrissy and Cam'ron has rattled him. To his core, the public repercussions has been strong, with fans, reporters, and even his own team doubting what happened. Many are now wondering how Jim could have been so blind to the relationship growing that he didn't catch on sooner. Between Chrissy and Cam'ron, was he too preoccupied with his own profession? Or did he simply choose to ignore the signs? Despite the tumult, Jim has stayed in favor of maintaining peace with his longtime spouse, relatively silent in the face of the public criticism, which in itself has created even more suspicion, others argue. He is dealing with it in the worst conceivable way by remaining mute, while others say he is playing his cards close to the chest, waiting for the proper moment to strike back. Regardless, Jim's reputation is on the line. This isn't just a sad celebrity spat. It's a full-blown scandal that might have long-term consequences for his career and personal life. Will this incident be the tipping point for Jim to finally open up and address the situation? Will he continue to live in the shadow of this betrayal? While Chrissy Lampkin navigates the storm in her, she's known for her violent temper, especially while defending her relationship with Jim. Therefore, according to those close to her, she is upset by the public outcry, yet remains attempting to excuse her behavior. She claims that her encounters with Cam'ron were nothing more than a reunion between old acquaintances, but it doesn't appear to sit well with the public, who are wondering how far that the reunion actually went, and if the relationship between Chrissy and Cam'ron truly stayed innocent. In fact, several people in their network have reported that the chemistry between Chrissy and Cam'ron was undeniable, with some even suggesting, could it be that Chrissy was pulled to anything more than the simple catching-up tale she's been selling? Cam'ron in a way she never could have imagined, leaving her stranded between two worlds, and then there's Cam'ron. Now that the truth has been revealed, Cam'ron is in a very delicate situation, as he has always been, known for his public persona as a smooth operator, someone who does not shy away from confrontation and thrives on the drama. But this scenario is different. While the beef with Jim may have been years in the making, scandal elevates things to a whole new level. The popular opinion of Cam'ron is now divided. On the one hand, he's charming and charismatic rapper who's been around for years dropping success. After Hit, on the other side, he's now the helped ruin one of hip-hop's most renowned partnerships and possibly a relationship that many people thought was solid. The question now is what Cam'ron's next step is. Will he continue to deny any wrongdoing and play "Is it cool?" Or will he come clean about the exact nature of his connection with Chrissy? According to several sources, assertion that Cam'ron does not feel the need to "I apologize," since he is Cam'ron, the man who doesn't have to answer to everyone. He has the status and clout and followers, so why should he care about what the public thinks of? Of course, there is always a price to pay. When you become embroiled in drama like this, Cam'ron may be able to brush off the public outcry for now, but the question remains, how will his fans, how will his former friends respond in the long run? We continue to piece together the The details of this emerging tale are clearly: Chrissy Camron and Jim Jones are at the core of a storm that shows no signs of letting up, but the question, what are the long-term implications? All of this will have an impact on the scandal, cause severe damage in their career and relationships, or will find a means to go past it. We're left. Additional questions, and there you have it. People's explosive secrets, the surprising betrayals, and heart-stopping drama. Nobody saw it coming, but we want to please let me know what you think about Camron and Chrissy Lumpin. The problem was Jim Jones entirely blindsided, or did he just disregard the signals? And, more crucially, what happens next? Is there any chance for these partnerships? Has everything been? Please notify us if it has been ruined beyond repair. We can't wait to hear your opinions below, your thoughts, and we'll be reading everything. Do you believe Camron will suffer the consequences of this affair? Will Jim come out unscathed, finally speak out, or will he remain silence forever? Let's talk about it. If you want to be current on everything, juiciest, most surprising celebrity drama, please remember to hit that like, click the icon, and subscribe to the channel. We have more explosive stories coming. You won't want to miss. Click the bell button to be the first to know when the next video drops. Stay tuned for more mind-blowing exposes, because the truth is out there, and we are here to bring it to you regardless of how insane it is. Subscribe to this drama by liking and commenting. This is not the end of the line. For Camron and Chrissy Lampkin, what they're hiding, something that might break apart everything we thought we knew about them. More importantly, what happens when Jim Jones, the king of keeping it real, discovers their secret night out? You won't believe what happened behind closed doors, but believe me, the reality is much juicier than any of us could have imagined. Camron and Chrissy Lampkin together on a covert getaway. Jim Jones had no clue